I am a cancer survivor. I first knew that I had cancer after going for an annual checkup with my doctor, Bill Taylor. He noticed something that I hadn't noticed, and I had had a mammogram.
The mammogram turned out to be negative, which is not a reason not to be further examined. She came to the office for a regular physical examination.
It was Christmas time. It was in the 60s. I was 41 years old. It was a time for family and fun. I was exhausted. I was so exhausted that I couldn't wait for it to be over. And I knew something was wrong. I thought, well, maybe it's age, and I need a tonic. So I was going to the doctor the next week, the first of the week, and I'll talk to him about that.
And on that examination, I was able to find a lump in her breast. Based on that, I referred her to Dr. Isaac Weber, who in turn ordered a biopsy for her. She came into the hospital just for that, and it turned out that the biopsy showed a malignancy.
The surgeon did an exam, he did some tests, and he decided that the diagnosis for breast cancer was real and that I needed to have surgery.
And because of this, she was brought to the hospital and a radical mastectomy was performed. It turned out it was just about in time because apparently she had 5 positive nodes found on the surgery. Following that, back in those days, there was no chemotherapy available, or at least it was in its infancy. The other possible therapy would be radiation therapy, but Dr. Isaac thought that was probably not necessary, and it was not done.
I'm still amazed at how quickly everything happened. There was no Google to research my diagnosis. I did have a Merck manual, which I went through, but that was highly technical, and I did ask my doctor about the one thing I understood, that there were different types of cancer.
Back in those days, we were so polite about talking to people's severe problems. The word cancer sort of never was used. It was implied but not used. And I realize today that that's not the way it should be done, and I'm very happy to say that being direct is the way to do it. Sometimes it's very hurtful to do so, but a person really needs to know what the matter is.
After this experience, I decided to forget it. It was gone. I mustn't carry it with me. I needed to let go. Underlying fears remained. 2 years later, my fears were realized. I followed the same routine, family doctor to surgeon. I would like you to know my special surgeon. I'd like to talk about him a little bit. Dr. Isaac Weber, who I believe saved my life. He was a grand gentleman. No nonsense, all business, considered grumpy by the nurses, and had a sense of humor that was wonderful, and he used it at the right times. On my return visit after 2 years, he went through the paperwork. He sat down on his desk and looked up at me and said, "Okay, girlie, what are we going to do about this?" Well, I replied, "I want to live." I had a second mastectomy.
Here we are, 41 years later.
I know, still alive.
Everything's going good, taking a day
Yes,
at a time.
yes,
Everything
that's
looks
right.
good, you look great.
Well, so do you. I mean,
moving.
we have to support each other, don't we?
So hard.
What got me through those difficult days was my caring family and very dear friends. Following cancer, I returned to college and enrolled in the master's degree program and began a teaching career in the special education program for children with handicaps and special needs. It was the most rewarding 25 years. When I decided to get a license plate, I put the word exams on my license plate. And my students, my friends, everyone sort of asked me why I did that. Was it because of my school experience? And I said, no, it was because of an awareness for early detection for breast cancer through exams.
Oftentimes the person can find a lump themselves, and so the doctor can recheck it or do a biopsy, whatever is indicated. And self-examination is very important, and so is a mammogram. But it turns out sometimes the mammogram's not perfect.
I can't tell you how much I appreciate the opportunity I have today to be here with you. We can beat this thing. We have research, we have diagnosis, we have awareness. A cure for breast cancer is attainable and reachable.